Alright guys, welcome to another World of Warcraft video. Today we're going to be discussing whether or not World of Warcraft Classic will be releasing. End of this year, will it be announced? Probably towards the end of next year, 2019 possibly. There's been no recent news regarding the actual release date coming straight from Blizzard themselves. They mentioned it last year at BlizzCon, but since then there have been only, I would say, just development phases. In the background, you're going to see some World of Warcraft classic gameplay. It's from a level 5 paladin that I made in just a private server. I forgot what the name of it was, but yeah, as I was playing this, honestly, since I myself never actually got to experience World of WoW Classic, I don't know what it was like. I didn't know what anything was before it told you where quests were, where to actually go, what to do, what to select, what not to use, what to use. And then I took everything for granted because on World of Warcraft BFA right now, I have a level 50 Orc Warrior, and I gotta say the questing is interesting. It's intriguing. I like it because I don't know, it really like immerses me into the whole game and the world that I'm in. I'm still very early on, as you can tell. I'm only level 50, but yeah, I realized after playing Classic that I took everything for granted in like current World of Warcraft. Everything's much easier. There's Classic, it walks you through it. It does everything for you practically, and all you have to do is follow the simple guidelines, such as like go kill this monster, go retrieve this, kill 6 of these mobs, go speak to this guy, go speak to that guy, travel here, travel there, and it points you directly where you need to go. Here in WoW Classic, it does not do that at all. That never happens. It never walks you through it. It never does anything for you. You have to figure it out for yourself. And I think that's a very unique aspect that this game brought. That was I would say another immersion factor to the game. It really had to solidify your memory in order to say, okay, if you don't really like focus on the game or the gameplay aspects of it, you're gonna get lost. You're not gonna know what to do. You're gonna forget where locations are, why things aren't appearing on your map. I don't know why my game just bugged out there. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, as I was saying, like, you have to find the people you have to speak to by yourself. You couldn't just be pointed to the direction where you have to go. Your hand was not held the whole time. Rather, you were like a 5-year-old kid trying to figure out how to get through elementary school on the first day of school. And I really like that. It immersed you, gave you new factor of like, wow, this game is interesting. I have to really, learn, instead of how games are made now, where it walks you through it, breaks down every aspect of the mechanics for it. In my opinion, I liked how they did that. WoW Classic definitely brought that new aspect to it. And once they do release the Classic server itself, I feel like it's going to be extremely beneficial to those who never played it, never got to experience it, or just flat out were too young to even know that was a thing. This is going to be a very, very interesting change for some people, because you obviously don't have to play WoW Classic when it releases. And my prediction for the release date of it, I would say either it would be talked of in BlizzCon that's coming up later this year, and then possibly hinted at a possible release date. But I'm going to say either mid-2019 or the end of 2019. Because apparently Blizzard's like 15th anniversary is next year, I think. I'm not too sure. Please do not quote me on that. But if that's the case, then I guess that would be an optimal time to actually release Classic. Because that would gain more hype for it, and people who actually share that nostalgic feeling towards it would definitely want to hop on that. They'd be like, oh my god, it's my childhood, or it's my teenage years. Whoever played it back in 2005, 2006. Personally, I at the time was way too naive and way too young to even realize what the hell World of Warcraft was. I didn't own a computer at the time or a laptop, and yeah, just didn't have any access to it, so I was very blind of it. I personally discovered World of Warcraft through just random game clips of it on YouTube around 2008 to 2010. I never actually got to. I mean, I did the trials and everything, but at the time, since I was young, I was like too bad at it. I didn't know what it was, and I felt too overwhelmed for it, and saying to myself, oh, this is too much stuff to learn, this is not interesting, it's really bad. And yeah, I just kind of shoved it off to the side. And then once I would say probably towards the end of the last year into this year, I definitely started gaining more of an interest to it. Like, I started getting dragged into the world. I tried learning about the lore. I'm still learning about it. I have to watch so many cutscenes. I have to really involve myself into this background of it, because the game itself is very fun, but you can't just take it at face value. You really have to see beyond the game. You have to see what the developers are trying to portray in this game. You're trying to see the heart and soul that they poured into this, because this game is incredible. There's so much to it, and $15 a month is literally nothing to the amount of content you are granted access to. That is a very, very sweet thing, in my opinion, because other games are still pay to win. You have to have an upfront cost, have DLC added to it, even though this has expansions, but the expansions always last you around 2 years, 1 to 2 years, depending on the quality of it, how many quests and what to do. I mean, you're gonna be held on to these expansions. It'll hold you over for a while. This is gonna be Battle for Azeroth that's coming up for World of Warcraft, and it's going to be releasing from the recording of this in about 2 weeks now, so that's very, very good. Lots of people are going to be hopping on that, and I'm definitely going to be hopping on that too. They were not going to release Classic or even announce it at all during this time frame, because Battle for Azeroth is coming out soon. This means that they really don't want to kill this whole thing off right now. If they were to release it now, or even announce an alpha, a beta, or anything, even pertaining to or associating with Classic itself, the hype for Battle for Azeroth is just gonna die. They're not gonna care about this expansion, and Blizzard's just gonna lose money, and that's not what they want at all. Because if they remove any aspect of it or any hype from it, they're gonna start losing a lot of money, a lot of people that don't want to play this anymore, and they're gonna lose all those nostalgic players to go back to Classic itself, and that's a very bad move on their part. So in my opinion, I think they're making a smart from a business standpoint and from a gameplay standpoint too, by postponing it or pushing it towards a 2019 release. This is it's gonna really make a nice impact into the community. It's gonna show the community that the developers from Blizzard are obviously listening. They know some people want this. I say we now, but I don't know how I'm gonna react to it. I might play it. I hope I do, honestly, because I want to see what everyone got dragged into back in 2005, 2006, when a majority of the larger YouTube channels that are out right now that used to play back in the day, when not many people played, and they saw everything. They saw all the expansions come out, they saw how the game grew, and they saw the major changes to the world. And that's very interesting, because that's a whole 14 years now, I'd say. And over the course of those 14 years, these people really got involved into the game. They devoted their whole lives to it. They had so much fun, and they made a bunch of new friends. I think that whole aspect was definitely lost. Yeah, as I was saying, as I rudely got interrupted by the train, that aspect was definitely lost with the later expansions in the game because of the holding of your hand definitely became a more dominant thing for new players, because Blizzard realized that, okay, Classic was a little, back when vanilla was around, Classic was a little too hard, so we're just going to make it more friendly towards newer players so that they could be welcome to it, they could have fun in this world. And from a business standpoint, that's very smart of them to do, because it drags in new people so they're not too afraid and stirred away from playing their game. That's fine. I mean, that's one way of garnering more of an audience, spreading out farther, so people don't really detach from this world or lose their immersion aspect. But it did stray away from people making online friends. In a way, I guess that's bad. I guess that's not. But yeah, I guess that's like a discussion for another video. But yeah, overall, I really think Classic is going to rejuvenate the hype or the nostalgic feel of people that used to play this game. It's really going to bring an audience back. Hopefully it does, if they do it correctly. Obviously, because Blizzard might have some ideas of implementing game mechanics from now into Classic in order to, like I said, branch out to those people who want to try Classic but are too afraid it's a little too hardcore for them. Even though Classic itself is not that bad at all. It's just I'd say a little bit more difficult, more of a learning curve than current WoW, which is fine, honestly. That definitely should be a thing, because it not only makes you work, it makes you get more immersed into the game itself. Yeah, Classic 2019 release, hopefully midpoint, just so I can get into it. Probably is going to be postponed to a later 2019 release rather than earlier, just due to the fact that it's probably not ready now. They're still trying to set up the coding for it. They're still trying to balance out some things, trying to maybe make the textures a little better, or have the old engine, if they even had an old engine, work properly with these new devices that are around. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, and nothing gets like hammered in the development process. I hope they launch it smoothly with hopefully things that are fixed and tuned. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you stick around for more. Make sure to stay tuned for another video tomorrow. Peace out.